Apart from his affection for Scotland, Arnold Palmer had another motive for returning. Last year, he played in the Open at Troon and thoroughly disgruntled himself. He shot 82-82 and missed the halfway cut by miles. That was not the final memory he wanted to leave in the birthplace of golf.
So an early start for Arnold Palmer for what I certainly hope will not be his last round in an Open at St Andrews.
This is game number 10 on tee, Arnold Palmer.
7 shots off the pace. But just the sort of challenge he likes, determined to make the halfway cut.
It's vital in Palmer's mind to halt a slide. He's played in 21 British Opens and missed the cut 4 times. Unfortunately, 3 of them have been on his last 3 visits. Day 2 begs some questions. If Palmer signs once every 6 seconds, how many autographs in a day? What we do know, in the years she's accompanied her husband on all his important rounds, is how far Winnie has walked. It's more than 12,000 miles.
Palmer then with this long putt from off the green, using the putter probably wisely and curling it round. It's going to break very sharply to the left, and look at it, it's majestic shot from Palmer, almost into the hole.
Good 5-wood. Yes. Could get me right up on the putting surface.
Could, sir, yes. Goes over. When the sun goes out, it gets cold very quickly.
You didn't put, when I said, as soon as we finish, I want my sweater, but you didn't.
Well, before the guys,
you're not a weatherman.
The guys on television told me different.
You're not a weatherman, Tim.
The lookers told me different. I'm wrong. I'm no good at anything anymore.
You can't read putts?
Can't do anything.
I still like you with that. That's it.
That's okay. That suits me.
Even if you do read them wrong.
Well. Certainly don't try to do that.
I will. It's the Scots in you that tells you you're right and you're wrong. And you don't want to relinquish it.
See, you don't want to admit it, huh?
They're right. I'm still not going for the 3-wood.
No, no. Just keep it slow with that. Swing slow.
So Palmer takes the advice, 5-wood, swings slowly, and as he made the green, not quite, but good shot.
Even 144 is the mark. It is?
Yeah, that's what they said.
So Arnold Palmer, still level par, but needing a par here to make sure of making the halfway cut, one suspects. Arnold Palmer, who really is the man who created the interest in golf worldwide that has made so many of today's younger players millionaires. And I've heard them say in America that they would willingly give 10 cents of every dollar they win in prize money to the man who created the world tours the way they are today. Now, Palmer, up the hill first of all, and then down towards the pin, a very slick green. It's looking good. He's got the line right. Is it going to go into the hole? Oh, just on the edge.
Winnie, that thing is 2 inches. 2 inches.
A cast iron par, and surely he'll be back tomorrow.
As Palmer heads home, Mark Calcavecchia, the defending champion, is only just driving off from the first. It's going to be a long day in paradise, particularly for Palmer, who's just landed in the Valley of Sin, that aggravating crater in front of the 18th green. Depending on the cut, this could be the last hole he ever plays in the British Open golf. Or could it?
He produced that great putt at 17. Can he produce another one, I wonder? Up the hill, once again, a putt which is all feel and touch. It's going to swing quite a bit from right to left. Here it comes up the hill. It looks awfully good. It looks awfully good. And a roll and a half would have given him a birdie. But that will be a par and a round of 71, 73-71. for 144, level par. And look at that, so close to a birdie and so close to 143. In 1960, he shot 141 and made the halfway cut. He hopes, and so do all the crowds around the green, that 144 will make it this year.
Palmer's convinced he's made the cut, but there are some decidedly unknown factors. Just as anxious as his personal business manager, Alistair Johnson.
This morning we were looking at even par with an outside chance and one under, being fairly sure, but with this wind and the weather coming up the way it is, it's not going to improve this afternoon. I think that even for sure is going to make it, and maybe even one over at this point in time.
You'd think he'd never been photographed before, but then, right round the course, he's been feted with an enormous reception.
That's why I've been coming all these years. The galleries, the people have been so fantastic that they have really inspired me to come and play, and of course they help make it enjoyable for me.
Well, we didn't know whether it was a farewell or not yet.
No, we sure don't. Let's hope not. Good. Let's hope for a couple more days.
But in case there aren't, the world's press want him now.
I haven't been in a position to grind like that for some time, and it was fun.
In the event, the scoring stayed low and the wind failed to get up. Palmer missed the cut by a single shot. He was in illustrious company. Also out, Mark Calcavecchia, last year's champion. Tom Watson, 5 times Open champion. Severiano Ballesteros, thrice champion. And Curtis Strange, the top-ranked American. Three decades on, it's time to go home.
Well, I'm disappointed, certainly. I anticipated going out this morning and maybe playing some pretty good golf, and to have this happen is not only disappointing, it's a surprise. To think that even par didn't make the cut in the Open is quite a shock.
Well, it was disappointing, wasn't it, really? To say the least, I really thought that he was comfortable in, but probably by one shot anyway. But the weather improved as the day went on. That was the problem. I thought it was going to freshen up and the wind would get up, but it didn't. That didn't happen. So there you go. Failed to qualify by one shot.
When you can't become and stay competitive, it's time to not play. I've never participated in a championship that I didn't have thought that I could win, and now the realization is coming to that not be the case. So I'm sure that this will be my last Open. I guess we're here, huh?
Yeah.
Fans are liable to say anything, but the point about Palmer is that he inspires the same response from his peers.
The Americans owe Arnold Palmer a lot, and I don't know how we could ever repay him. Thank you, I guess, is the only thing we can say.
Inevitably a last autograph, and the last day too, in another career in championship golf.
It means a hell of a lot, I tell you that. It's because I don't think I'll bother caddying in any more championships after this one, if it is Arnold's last, which I believe is going to be. I think I'll just caddy locally at St Andrews. After all, I've been doing it for quite a long time. He's been good to me, good for me, and if it wasn't for him, although I may have still have been a reasonable golfer and a reasonable caddy, but he's really set me up in life, you know. He's done everything for me.
You want to take with you?
Arnold Palmer isn't walking away from golf, of course. The talent is hardly impaired by the years, and there are now highly lucrative senior tours for the game's venerable statesman. And in his idle hours, he has all those businesses to run and the golf courses to build. Even so, life is going to change for Arnold and Winnie Palmer.
I'm ready to slow down a little bit. I just think it's time, and I think that it's a much easier way of doing it than just all of a sudden having your health go and having to quit altogether. I think that would be a dreadful adjustment for him. And I think this is definitely the way to handle it, to just kind of ease out as you see the necessity of doing that.
I hope that I can age with some dignity and leave the scene with that dignity. It'll be difficult. There's no question about it. Not hitting the same drives and the same putts, but if you enjoy it and love it as much as I do, I suppose you're going to keep trying and try to make it work as long as you can. But as I have just retired from the playing in the British Open, I hope that whatever intelligence I have and whatever demeanor I have, I understand when it's time to stop the other parts of it too and retire to my friendly 18 at Bay Hill, Isleworth, or Latrobe Country Club.
But could he even now be lured back?
He won it at Birkdale. It's at Birkdale next year. He's got a plaque there. He hasn't seen it for a while. I don't know. I think a lot will depend on how he plays during the 3 or 4 months prior to that. A lot will depend on sort of what his mood is. I'd like to see him come back. I think maybe he will one day. None of us like to think of this era as having ended.
It's too early, thank God, to talk of epitaphs. But in due course, perhaps, without him, golf wouldn't be what it is. But that's about it. Few would claim Arnold Palmer to be the greatest golfer who ever lived. None would dispute that no man has left a more indelible mark.